just take a moment and introduce to you Scott Edwards' bike. It's a YZ250. They drove 14 hours yesterday to come and rip up the dirt with us. We're pretty honored. They're some pretty good friends of ours. Him and his son, Aryton, should be ripping the crap out of our track, I guess. Pretty exciting when it sounds like NASCAR in your backyard. We live in a town of about 200 people, and I'm pretty sure the whole town can hear us, but that's okay because we only get to do this once in a while. I don't like that. See, how'd you do that?
So you measure down even on each side.
Yeah.
With a felt marker, and then you draw a line on each side, and then you take a hacksaw.
Yeah.
And just cut it down to make sure it's even on both sides.
Yeah.
And then you take like sandpaper, like really rough sandpaper, and then you just shave it down.
Yeah.
And then the piece that you cut out, you cut that in half. And I just hot glued it on the back. Yeah. And then you do the same thing to even it out to where you want it.
Right.
And you just take sandpaper and shave it down. And then you just pull the cover back over.
And it wraps around pretty good, eh? It tightens up pretty good?
It's pretty hard.
Yeah. And you just use a regular staple gun for that, or?
Yeah, like
those regular staples.
Yeah, like the industrial ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, it works pretty good.
And when you go to staple your cover on, you start at the front, put like 8 staples, and then pull it around the back so you got it nice and straight.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then staple the back, and then start at the front and start stretching it on there nice and tight.
Right. That way you don't get any wrinkles, or because the more wrinkles you get, the more wear it gets, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
you find?
Yeah.
Well, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure, if your seat cover's cold too, it won't stretch as much if it's really stiff.
Right. I know we've covered a couple seats, or tried to cover a couple seats, and we just, you know, it's a real pain when you do it for the first time, right? But I wouldn't mind getting a bump on my seat like that.
It's pretty hard to stretch it over the bump, right?
Yeah.
It's meant for just the stock foam, right?
Yeah.
It's nice and smooth. With the bump, you gotta just reef on it. It's like a team effort. You almost have to have 2 people there.
To do
one
it.
Stretching it and one stapling.
Right. So this is repacking.
In the magazines, it's true. Nothing corners like a Suzuki.
Repacking my silencer for me. Hopefully you're going to get some better bottom end.
Which is something that you could probably use, which will help you ride better.
Yeah.
This thing's pretty, yeah.
That's pretty scrappy back tire.
Yeah, keep new tires.
What did you pay for this?
I paid $18 and then another $300 to get her rebuilt.
Yeah, and it came blown up.
Yeah.
It ran fine as soon as she brought it home here. I took it for a spin and realized, hey, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
It runs okay, but power. And I pulled the pipe off, and you could see she was done.
Wow.
Yeah, I got
a garbage out here, Jay?
Yeah.
That's
Have you got a garbage here?
Yep.
I don't want to throw it all out.
oh, because the bike was tipping over. I was like,
Yeah, I know. If I owned the seat, I'd probably add some in here so it's flatter.
yeah, and it's kind of, well, it's a little soft, but yeah.
Well, I like how they made it longer than it's supposed to.
See, this is just fiberglass. There's nothing.
Wow, eh?
It's Scott Edwards. He's an old pro at fixing stuff, and he knows pretty much every aspect about every part on a bike, or every way to jerry-rig.
He's the kind of guy that you kind of want to ride your bike, but you kind of don't.
The guy that you want to bring along on a long trail ride. You want to bring Scotty with you because he can make you get going again when you thought your ride was over. I seen it happen. I watched Kevin. Kevin Endo in the first corner smashed his clutch cable all off, and this was at the beginning of the ride on our way to the top of a mountain. So it was about 15 minutes into it, into a what, about 6-hour ride?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like after it's all said and done, about 6 hours, and so he screwed up his bikes in the first 15 minutes, but we had Scott along. He brought out his little pack of goodies, had him ripping, and he fixed it up good enough that Kevin rode it like that for another year.
It's supposed to be a jerry rig and supposed to get fixed as soon as you can, but Kevin just said screw it and let's rip.
Yeah.
Kind of guy that you wanna.
Bike back, $2,200.
Yeah.
You have to even buy a new cylinder. Nicosols wore right off it.
Yep.
That's that YZF sharing the transmission oil with the top end oil.
That's an 08, isn't it?
It shares the oil. It doesn't have separate oil from top and bottom end.
Right.
Wore the cylinder out, and he was always running my mixed gas.
Well, gas shouldn't hurt it too much. Won't make things wear out quicker.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Scott's the kind of guy that you kind of want to ride your bike, but you kind of don't because you're going to find everything wrong with it, eh? Like, it's good that he finds everything wrong if he can fix it, and that's awesome, but...
If you're broke, you don't want to hear it. It's like, well, I never noticed it, never bothered me.
Yeah.
I didn't hear what you said.
But now that you've told me, I'm a little nervous.
That's got an aftermarket pipe on it.
Yeah.
Pro circuit.
Nice.
Once we get the
This
dents
is
out of
Ricky
it.
Carmichael's old bike. That's why the silencer packet's all going on.
Oh yeah. You got flame shooting out of the back.
Yeah, I know.
I had a rig cherry red. Doing laps up there at the top by the dump.
My bike you're talking about here.
Well, I got off the KX500 and then got on this.
Yeah. That'll do it.
That thing just spits rocks everywhere.
Yeah?
Like, oh,
There
it's
you go.
Crazy.
crazy. Wasn't even that much fun to ride.
That's how you repack a pipe.
It would be fun for like wide
On a budget.
open.
On a budget,
You
that's
take
right.
it up to the bluff.
Man, we live in Vavenby. Everybody's on a budget here.
It actually had a smooth power band, but even at like 1,000 RPM, it still had like 30 horsepower. You know, like it started off with 30 horsepower, you know, it's like...
Baby's getting bored, not hearing no bikes ripping, eh?
Either hot
line up
glue
with a
or
hole on the other
you can
end.
buy that spray-on, I think Elmer makes it. You can buy that spray-on glue and that's what they use. For a while till it's tacky and then you push it on.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea, yeah.
I didn't have that, so I just used hot glue. The only thing about hot glue is you can feel it on the sides.
Oh, really? The lines or whatever, eh?
Yeah, because I added foam in here. Right?
That spray glue is some good stuff.
You filled it up a bit, eh?
Well, when I first started riding, I went from a little CR80 to a KX250, so my legs were still too short to touch the ground, and this seat originally was level, right?
Oh yeah.
So we had to take a hacksaw blade and cut it down so I could reach the ground, and then we sacked out the suspension, and then I had to re-glue that back in when I started to get taller, right?
Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool, eh? Customize your own bike.
Oh yeah.
How long have
you see mine? Mine's got custom seat brackets. Mine's got custom.
Jay's the king of
Jay's
custom.
got the raddest bike out of everybody. He lightweights it, he doesn't spare anything. Off comes the kickstart, you name it. He's got the lightest bike.
Well, no, I try to keep it, you know, within the 220-pound weight limit. So when I lose weight in one spot, I add a big bolt to the handlebar.
Bring the weight up, center of gravity up higher.
Yes.
It helps the RM lay over.
She lays right over. Stand back up. Okay, you just start to hit the corners a little faster.